I bought a plug-in hybrid, specifically a minivan, because I love the technology in it.
I've always had an interest in sustainable living, and it was pretty obvious that I needed to change what I was driving.
I was interested in something that would be good for the environment and the convenience of being able to charge at home instead of having to go to the gas station, plus the tax rebates.
We were moving to Ohio. I said, well, I'll get an EV. I'll get one that's a plug-in hybrid so I can have extended distance if I need it.
The first thing I noticed, and I think most people notice, is just how quiet they are.
The first thing I was like, is this thing on?
Because we get in and we shut the doors and we click our seat belts, and then I start rolling and they're like, oh my God, the car's on.
But I know some people like the revving and loud cars, but I love the quiet of it.
It truly is the fact that I plug it into the wall and it's ready to go.
My car on a full charge will go 200 miles. So daily commute, back and forth to work, picking up the kids, running errands, it's probably about 30 to 40 miles. So that 200 miles lasts me 3 or 4 days. So I'm usually charging once or twice a week.
Our plug-in hybrid gets 33 miles on a full charge, and that's plenty to do any errands I have to, if I'm running our daughter Isabella around town, or going to the store, or taking her to the zoo, or anything like that. We can easily get around with using absolutely no gas at all.
Because the gas part takes you another 250, 300 miles. So you can use electric most of the time, and it switches over to gas without you knowing it.
That's kind of the number one question that people want to ask. They want to know how far it goes. The next thing is like, well, how do you charge it? I'm like, you charge it everywhere. I mean, there's stuff all over the place.
Oftentimes I'll charge my car at home, but when I'm out and about, I usually look for stations that are free to charge at.
Level 1 charging is what I would call a trickle charge.
The level 1 is just plugging into your regular 110, 120 volt outlet like you have in your house.
For plug-in hybrids, those actually allow you to charge your car overnight and get a full charge.
And then level 2, you can usually get anywhere between 15 to 40 miles of charge an hour.
The level 2 is a lot faster. Like for this thing, it's 2.5 hours. If I'm down to 20% to get to 100, that's about how long it takes. It's a different driving experience. It's not so alien that anyone couldn't make the switch, but there's definitely a lot of little subtle differences.
I would say it took 3 minutes to get used to it. I mean, just boom, boom, boom. Then after that, I was just driving. It was just easier and more quiet. It picked up right away. That was just great.
I think one of the funnest things about driving electric and hybrid vehicles is the instant acceleration that you get. It never gets old.
We're at a stoplight and then I just wham on the pedal, and then everyone goes back in their seat and they're like, wow, it's so fast. That's why. That's why it's fun.
So all electric cars have what they call regenerative braking.
When you're using that, it allows you to just do one pedal driving so that when you let off the gas, it will brake on its own so you don't have to switch between pedals. I'd estimate that I probably save about $100 a month by driving an electric car.
I probably save about $160, $170 a month.
At a public charger, I paid 88 cents to charge my car, and it put 55 miles of range on the car, which doesn't sound like much, but then I did the math, and that works out to being 3 to 5 times cheaper to fuel than my Corolla.
Not having to go to the gas station maybe once a month or every 2 months even, I would probably say easily at least $100 a month.
Maintenance costs on electric vehicles are low, partly because there's less parts to an electric car.
There's basically no fluids that ever need to be changed except for the windshield wiper fluid. That's it.
So you don't have things like spark plugs, tune-ups, oil changes, things like that. You don't have to worry about in an electric car.
When we were looking at buying a minivan, we were actually looking at gasoline models as well. But then we found out that on top of just the technology that the government has given us, is giving us a $7,500 tax rebate for buying a plug-in hybrid car, which was actually better than any rebates that the dealer could give us on a gasoline model.
I feel Smart Columbus is providing more of an overall community awareness for electric vehicles.
Having the Experience Center placed where it is, right there in the heart of downtown, it's just really a place where you can come in, learn about electric cars, look at them. I think you can even test drive some of them that they have in their fleets. I actually just read an article that said Columbus region has just eclipsed over 1% EV adoption for this year. So I don't think that would be possible without initiatives like Smart Columbus helping to get the word out. Just the nature of EVs in general, they're kind of like the natural progression of automotives. You think you have the horse and buggy, and then you have the combustible engine, and that was a revolution. So I think EVs are the next iteration of that. So gas cars are kind of becoming the horse and buggy.
There's really a lot of options now, and it's only going to get better. In the next 5 years, we're going to see this explosion of alternative fueled vehicles on the market, EVs being one of them.
I go home, I plug it in, it takes seconds. I don't think about it, and I just think it's a more modern and progressive way to move myself from place to place around town.
We love the car, let me tell you. Like, we sit in that car and we're like, this is a really nice car and I don't have to spend so much money on it. And I say that because my other car is a gas guzzler.
I like that you don't have to go to the gas station generally and dealing with the fumes of gasoline and things like that, and just feel like I'm doing a better job at saving the environment.
I'm committed that for my main personal vehicle, I don't see owning anything but an electric powered vehicle in the foreseeable future.
There's a space right here that I'm standing in where people can sign up to test drive an electric vehicle and see it for themselves, because the only way you're going to get people to adopt something is to try it. It's an experiential thing, and you have to get behind the wheel and you have to see for yourself, and you have to, hear from other EV drivers how they've made it fit into their lifestyle.
Between the fuel savings, how fun it is to drive, the smoothness of the ride, just everything about an electric car and the experience driving is just so much better than a regular car.